I quit the job cold turkey, just took a leap of faith. We went from $70,000 a year to 800 to almost $1 million a year in revenue in 5 years.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show this week. Today I am on with Josh Morton, my good buddy. He does garage doors. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Colin. Appreciate you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and your company briefly.
Well, we started out in 2019. Just kind of took my personal truck and threw a ladder rack on it one day. My grandfather did doors when I was a kid, and I just got tired of not really making a whole lot of money. Doing mechanic worked for H&R AgriPower for a little bit, worked at Columbus Hyundai, worked underneath your buddy Jason Morrow over there.
Yeah.
So we, I did that for a little bit, and I decided that I wanted to go into business for myself, and I started Googling garage door companies, and all I found was my competition in Starkville there, and I was like, well, I guess we'll just give it a go.
Yeah.
Started out real soft, and we opened up JD's Garage Door in 2019, and, man, we just been doing it ever since. I quit the job cold turkey, just took a leap of faith, and we went from probably $70,000 a year to 800 to almost $1 million a year in revenue in 5 years. And I was blessed with the opportunity to purchase another door company in Tupelo in August of last year. And we purchased Mississippi Door, and we've been open over there. We just transferred everything over in our name. We got a 20-year business, clientele and everything transferred over. So it was kind of an expansion deal for us. And now we've made the bold move of kind of getting away from JD's Garage Door and merging everything together. So now we're officially Mississippi Door, from Starkville, Mississippi, all the way to Booneville, Mississippi, and as far west as New Albany. So we are doing big things.
So where do you grow up here in town? Are you
Man, yeah, dude, I'm a New Hope native. I grew up on Tabernacle Road down there, and went to school at New Hope my whole life, and just been here my whole life. My family's from West Point, Mississippi. We got some family land out there in the Kilgore Hills in the middle of nowhere. I just been here my whole life, and I find it thrilling to be able to do business in the town that I grew up in. So.
Oh yeah, and make a living. Well, there's a lot of people make a living here in Columbus, Mississippi, and people underestimate that. I think people come from out of town, they think it's a one-stoplight town, and it really isn't. There's a lot of business gets done, and probably more than ever with the industry out there in the prairie. So.
Yeah, we got a lot of industrial stuff going. Columbus is a booming little town. I'm kind of thrilled to see where the Parkview project's going to go down there at Burns Bottom. That right there is going to be so good for Columbus. It's going to bring a whole lot of different aspects to the town. I'm actually happy to see, Saunders and them and Nick doing what they're doing, hopefully I get to put some doors on them.
We'll see. Well, they all have to have garages. So full disclosure, I am the realtor for the Parkview development at Burns Bottom.
That's right.
And Nick Parrish and Saunders Ramsey got together. And we've had a phenomenal start on the first set of land. As of the day of this recording, we're about to start selling off the second block that's up there. So we'll have some signs going up there today and tomorrow, so people will be a little more visible. The Burns Dirt not only is involved in that project, but is involved in the infrastructure. They got the bid for that, and they're doing the 5th Street North development, which if you drove down Columbus anytime in November, you've seen, and now in December, you'll see the beautification efforts there that are partially funded by the city and the county, a lot of by the county, a lot of with the grant. But that'll make 5th Street North to the Magnolia Bowl look nice and pretty, so that when the development really gets going this spring, it'll
it's going to really complement the development down there at Burns Bottom. That's going to be awesome, I think.
No, it's going to be cool, and I've lived down the block on 5th Avenue for 13 years now, and I'm like, let's get going here, let's get going. So it takes a while when you got to move that. It's a large parcel of land, a lot of stuff like that. Going back to yourself in New Hope, what was the first job you ever had?
Oh, Sonic Drive-In, bowling alley. I grew up in the bowling alley, and my dad and all of us bowling alley kids, we all kind of got stuck together and got so interested in it. I started out working there, and I worked in fast food for a while, and then moved to Tupelo for a little bit, worked in the bowling alley there, and just kind of moved on from there. And I fell on some really hard times. I decided it would be a good idea to go to Job Corps, and that turned out kind of terrible. I ended up in Tennessee living with my cousin for a little bit, and I finished my high school education up there, got my GED and stuff, and man, I'm not going to go into detail as to what happened, but he ended up having to turn himself into the FBI. I mean, it was real bad, and I was like right in the middle of it, and I was like, man, I had no idea all this was going on, so it just kind of snowfalled from there. Came back home, ended up back here, and I ended up sleeping in a truck in the woods for 3 days.
Holy cow!
Yeah, and my best friend Adam Anderson, who's now passed on, he was right there for me the whole time, and I was introduced to some very dear and close friends of mine that I ended up living with them for 5 years. Walking, I worked at CJ's Pizza under Blake Trineri when he had it.
Yeah.
Blake, I'm sure. And the way that ended up happening is I was like on real hard times, and George got up one morning and I was already ready to go, and he's like, man, what you finna do? I said, I'm finna find me a job, fella. He's like, you can't go to work with me. He was working for Buddy Easley at the time over there by the courthouse, and I just started walking up down the road trying to find a job. And by Thursday, I met Chef Matt Molina at CJ's Pizza there, and he gave me a job, and I just kind of went from there. And the first vehicle I bought is the vehicle that turned me into a mechanic. I had it for just a few months, and it blew a head gasket, and I got a Haynes repair manual, and I started working on it. And I ended up deciding, well, I think this is what I want to do. And I ended up being certified to work on Hyundais at Columbus Nissan there and Hyundai. And I ended up leaving the automotive world and went into kind of the agricultural world and started working on small engines for John Deere and got certified in a lot of their stuff. And then same thing at H&R. And that's kind of the whole story in a nutshell. I come from literally nothing and took every opportunity I could and moved forward.
So when do the garage doors or overhead doors come into it? I know the word garage door limits it a little, but
yeah. Well, where it comes in is I'd lost my job at Wade Incorporated, and I really enjoyed doing the small engine work. But when I started that job, I said, well, if this don't turn out, I'm going to go into business for myself. And I thought about it for a very long time. Well, when I lost that job, I went and talked to Mr. Marty Sanders there at H&R, and I went to work for him. I kind of sort of opened up then, trying to kind of worm my way in, trying to learn the products and things that I missed out on when I was a kid working with my grandfather. And I worked for them for about 6 months, and my girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife, we were talking, and I said, I think I want to do this full time, and she backed me up 100%. She said, you know what, if you want to do it, she said, we'll make it work. So I walked in, went to work one day, went to lunch, went home, loaded all my toolboxes up, and I said, I'm out. I'm going into business for myself. And I was praying hard, trying to make sure I was doing the right thing. And I prayed and prayed and prayed, and the Lord spoke to me and told me that if I wanted to do it, He would be with me, but it was going to be difficult, and that I didn't see what He seen. Well, when I went into it cold turkey, This was December of 2019, right before COVID hit.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Perfect timing. And I'm going to tell you, man, it was real hard for them first 3 months. But, man, we made it all the way through COVID. And I grew to the point to where I never quit. I never stopped. I took everything with a grain of salt and I moved forward. And everybody that didn't believe in me now does, because I literally built it with nothing, no financing from the bank, nothing. I just threw some tools on my truck and I went to work. And we purchase anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000 of product per year and install it. And I never in a million years thought it would get to where it is now. I've got an awesome crew of guys that works underneath me. I've got people that I can send to do whatever I need to do. I've been thankful to be able to be in close proximity with business with Donald Barksdale at Champion Towing and Landman Rentals. I rent part of his new building over there at Tough Line Lane behind Gary's, and we've got a good warehouse. We've got a new showroom coming together, so all our customers can come by and see the options. And it's been a roller coaster, but it's been a thrill. But that's kind of where it all started. Was I just when you go into business for yourself, a lot of people don't stick with it because they're afraid of that leap of faith that you have to take. You got to step off the ledge. And you got to continue stepping off the ledge. And I learned early in business that if you're comfortable, you ain't growing. You got to constantly be in an uncomfortable state, or you're going to come into hurdles, and you just got to take it with a grain of salt and move forward.
Well, I tell people all the time, it was like the people get into business and they think that there's some illusion that they're not going to be there or not going to be working. And restaurants are the best example. So at the peak of COVID, Doug, who's always at Zachary's, was at Zachary's. Mr. John, who's at United Deli, is always at United Deli. But the Huck boys were at Huckabee's. Mm-hmm. The Beans, who run Harvey's and stuff, they were in the kitchen at Harvey's. Right. People who own 16 franchise restaurants, who people think that they're just sitting in their swimming pool and playing around. Yeah. They're sitting there making, ribeye sandwiches because nobody else could work.
I'm a firm believer in the day that you quit paying attention to it is the day you start failing.
Yeah.
I may not be on every job, but I'm going to go behind my guys sometimes just to make sure that everything's continually done correctly. But
you've been in automotive business. There's prime examples of that locally here when the boss isn't watching some of these dealerships, man, the money disappears.
Yeah, it does. Cash goes out the door. So, I'm a firm believer in taking good care of your people. And if any of my contractors calls me and says, hey, so-and-so's door's messed up, I don't care what I'm doing. I'm stopping what I'm doing, and I'm going to take care of that customer that's already spent $2,000 to $5,000 with us putting in, new doors. These doors are appealing to, the aesthetics of the house. You pull up in a driveway, what's the first thing you see? The garage door. Yeah. We want to make sure that our people get their money's worth, and they get the return service. That's the big deal for us, is we're going to come back if we have to. But we don't like to, but we will.
So with taking over up in Tupelo, how has that been on a day-to-day basis? Do you have to go up there 3-4 days a week and check on it, or is it small?
Well, we pretty much run everything right here in Columbus. And when we catch up the jobs that we have here, we take a couple days and we hit Tupelo and we just knock it all out. We try to stay in front of it best we can. So, it's a back and forth thing, but I'm eventually going to have an office up there too. We just got to get there.
Are there any garage emergencies? Do cars get stuck in garages?
Man, we get so many calls. I guess I need to explain it like this. The way a garage door spring works is basic laws of physics. If something stays at extreme tension at all times, eventually it'll break. in extreme changes such as this time of the year when we've been so hot and muggy in the garages, and then we have a cold snap and it goes from 70 to -2 or whatever whatever it is, a spring will break. And then you'll go outside to your garage and hit the door button, and then you ain't going to work. But we like to take the opportunity to make them high priority. We'll go and at least try to get the customer's car out, and so they can go on to work, and then we can discuss repairs after that. But we do offer a lubrication service, and we do that every job we go to. We'll always lube the door down and hit the springs with the specialized lubricant that we have. That way, you can cut back on some of that.
Yeah.
Because all this stuff's metal on metal. I mean, there's no forgiveness with it. I mean, that's just the way they're designed.
Yeah, we see a lot as a realtor. We'll see, doors taking too long to open or make it screeching and sound like they're dying.
Oh, yeah.
I think people let them go to the last possible second.
Yeah, well, every homeowner in America loves to go out to their garage every 3 months and spray their door down. Which never happens. There's a few that do, though. They, some people are just particular on maintenance on their homes. But I mean, it's just one of them things. There's a lot of that going on right now. There's a lot of motor failures going on right now. I guess it happens this time of year. We slow down on door installs and pick up on service work about this time of year. So
yeah, and I suppose from I'm a step away from it, but most of East Columbus and downtown Columbus, not a lot of garages. But in Starkville or in Saltillo, Tupelo, where there's more homes that are built from 1990 on, I suppose there's a lot higher percentage of garages on there. So
yeah. Well, the big deal is the safety aspect now. I mean, people are not near as polite as they were back in the 50s. There's a lot of, which is pretty cool about the LiftMaster openers that we install. They have a system called the MyQ system that you can download on your phone. And where I was going with that was in the big suburban areas, you have about this time of year when there's, Christmas gifts laying in Amazon packages on the front porch. People like to come up and take them. Well, they have something called Amazon Key that you can attach to your Amazon Prime account. And the way that works is when you order your packages, they have a one-time code on their little pad that they punch in, and your garage door will come open, and they'll slide your packages in, and they have 15 seconds to get out of the way of the photo eyes, and the door will close down back behind it. And that's a free service provided by LiftMaster through the MyQ system. So I mean, that's the big deal is safety. There's not a house one nowadays, very few and far in between, that don't have a garage.
Yeah, the new construction ones almost all. Nobody's gonna.
Very seldom do people not put a garage and a garage door in their house. I guess a lot of the older people do. Still like to park under a carport instead of having that garage door or whatever.
Well, I mean, I've convinced a lot of people to convert their carport and wall it off and put a garage and increase. It's one of the rare improvements on a house you're going to get your money back, especially if you only have to put one wall and a door on a carport.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't take much to build that wall.
We're fixing to do one for Mr. Pat Davidson at Davidson PLLC. They just bought a rental property, and we're going to kind of case it in just a little bit, put a door on it so that, the people who will rent the house will be, secured and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
They can charge more rent, too.
Yeah.
Because, it's a luxury. Like I said, there's not a lot of room downtown with the older houses in Columbus for it, but once you get into commercial stuff too, so I mean that's where you start seeing using the word overhead door because it's not quite a cute little garage.
Yeah, we've been pretty blessed to be able to do some of these bigger jobs at the steel mill, and we didn't get a chance to do anything at the new aluminum plant yet, but we put 3 20x20s on for GTMS at the steel mill a few years ago, and Weathers Construction has decided to send us out of town a few times, so we've been to Lexington, North Carolina, doing some big stuff for them. We've been to Blytheville, Arkansas, doing some stuff there, and we'll travel around. We did the doors on the new Rural King whenever they come in, and the guy that builds those wants to use us moving forward, so we're going to be going to Prattville, Alabama here in the next few months to put doors on the one they're building down there, and then there's another one going in Decatur, and they just finished one in Rome, Georgia, but we didn't take it yet.
People like the old, I call it the Buc-ee's of tractor stores.
Yeah, it's better to go in there with an empty wallet, that's for sure. Cause
so my wife and kids love it, and we live in the city. They got no reason to go there. She's like, I'm going there. I'm like, we don't need chickens.
I'm sold on the free popcorn myself.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got to go like the night they opened, so they still had all the food and stuff, but it was pretty impressive. So.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I've got a pretty good price on boots there. That's a big deal for us, is having good work boots.
What's the biggest door you've done? I know some of the stuff at Steel Dynamics is pretty ridiculous.
Well, those ones we did at Lexington take the cake right now. We did, they were 21 foot tall and 18 foot wide. The three we did at GTMS were 20 foot wide and 20 foot tall. But on the sectional stuff, we just got done doing two 24 by 14s, so that's about as big as we've been so far, but I about don't want to go any bigger than that,
Yeah, you start having cranes and all kind of other stuff, because right now I guess you can move the big ones with a forklift and stuff.
Yeah, we on the rolling steel, we like to take and use a telehandler. I know that there's one at ADI, I think it's like 37 foot wide. That's, they melt those big ingots down, and they're like 32 foot long, those ingots that they melt down, and they have to bring them out of that doorway. So that would take two telehandlers, stuff like that, which, I mean, we can do it. It's just, I'm not going to be happy to.
Yeah, I tell people all the time to drive out and check out these factories, because Steel Dynamics and Lumen Dynamics, they almost like gray out. They're so big that it's almost like gray. Like your human eyes are like, I can't conceive something that's huge.
Yeah, that job we did in North Carolina, that was a new steel mill being built up there. Levy, same company that runs this one here. They were building a new one up there. They were just about ready to start production whenever we did that outbuilding. So, big stuff, man.
Well, I'm glad to see it in our area. You do much stuff in Starkville?
Not as much as I would like to. Our competition over there, they got it, they've been in Starkville for probably 30 or 40 years, you know what I mean? They kind of got that market locked down. And then we do some work over there, but it's very few and far in between.
How many guys you got working for you in Columbus?
I got 3 technicians, and I have 1 secretary now. So
there you go.
She's helping me out, trying to keep the phone answered, because I'll go out and try to do a job, and it'll take me all day to do a job that takes 2 hours because I can't stay off the phone. Call volume is awesome. So.
Well, yeah, and you got to get past that point. That's always a growing stage in a business, is where you're just scribbling notes on a little yellow pad on your truck, and then the wind blows and it falls next to your Chick-fil-A wrapper, and you forget to call them, and all of a sudden you're a bad guy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Text messages are awesome, especially on an iPhone, because you can go back and search up, somebody's name, and we do that. We do that a lot when I'm out in the field and I need to have the phone, but I don't really have to do that stuff anymore, because my secretary there, she'll take care of, writing notes down at the desk, and she does a really good job for me. So.
Cool. Well, I know you got a wife. Any kids or anything running around?
Yeah, I got a 13-year-old daughter. She's kind of taking a break from playing travel softball right now, because me and my wife just had a baby. He's 3 months old, so we're tickled to death with him. So it's Still trying to figure that one out.
That's a pretty big break between kids, 13 years.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, it is. It's my first one and her second one. So Riley was 7 years old when I came along, and I've been blessed with the opportunity to be her dad and teach her the right way around things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's tough. I got 3 teenage daughters, so it'll wear you out.
Yeah. Yeah, it is one of them things with daughters that I just can't help with. You know what I mean? It's just hormone changes and all that stuff. You know, as a dad, it's kind of hard to take all that in.
No, that's part of it.
Yeah. It's a good thing she's got her mama. That's all I'm saying.
Have you tricked her into working on garage doors and stuff?
She has helped me before. Just to be my go-getter, you know, so I ain't got to climb up and down the ladder 40 times. But I'm glad to be, you know, moving the business in the direction that it's going, because it'll be something that I can pass down to the kids. You know, it's kind of why we do what we do, ain't it? You know.
Yeah, to make things better for them. I was just finished talking to the Garrett Torbert from the Golden Triangle Theater. He was walking out when you were walking in.
Yeah.
I've missed stuff at the theater, you know, and I've told him, I said, I really want to do this, but I have a daughter going away to college and another one's at MSMS, and, you know, I have a limited amount of time left with them.
Yeah.
And I said, you're going to be here in a couple of years. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of things I miss out on because I want to be at home with my kids or whatever. And that's the best part about the worst and the best part about owning your own business is sometimes you got to go do some work, but it's good for them to see that. And other times, like if I want to leave at 2:00 and go pick them up from school, I can go do it. You know?
Right. Yeah, it's a little freedom thing, but it's, you know, the big deal for me is, you know, we work really hard and we take extra special care of our customers so that we can say, you know what, babe, I think we want to go to Florida this weekend. We'll go down there and mess around for the weekend and can do it. Yeah. You know, that's the big deal, is not being limited to what you can do. And I told my wife last night, if I could get paid to stay at home and, you know, watch the baby, you know, I would do it. But, you know, I really enjoy what we do. I enjoy, you know, ministering to the public and helping people out, because, you know, the garage door industry is not something that everybody knows about. And what we run into is there's a story that happened with a door company, I think in Illinois, back a few months ago. They made the local news because they thought it would be a good idea to give that customer a run for their money. Had a broke spring, charged them for broke spring, cable, drums, all kinds of stuff, and charged them like $1,150 to do something that didn't take but $350 to fix. And that's kind of what we run into is when a customer calls me, in their mind, they're like, all right, I'm fixing to spend at least $1,000. But it may not cost, you know, a couple $100.
Yeah, well, no. And sometimes people are, you know, if the motor's out, they're like, that's the worst. I'm like, it's probably worse if you backed into your door. Than the little motors don't look all that complicated. You know what I mean?
They're really not. I mean, it's a very basic system. It's 24-volt system. I mean, most of the time, we're like, you know, replacing broke sprockets on the older ones. But the biggest things that we do is change out motors that are really old and, you know, do springs as far as repair work. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can do. You know, if your panels are in decent shape, we can go through there and replace your rollers and lubricate the door and, you know, lubricate the springs and service the motor just a little bit. And, I mean, that'll hold you for a while, you know. We got a big job that we're fixing to do in West Point for Magnolia Diesel. They're fixing to put 10 new doors and openers sometime this next year. He was calling me about twice a week. And we did the same thing for Columbus Fire and Rescue. We take care of all the fire stations in Lowndes County. Make sure that they can get their fire trucks out. So
I was wondering about that. Do they have automated doors or pull chain doors?
Yes, they have automated doors on most of the stations. I think there's a few in the county that still have, you know, throw and go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose they have to have that as a backup if something goes wrong. You don't want them to be stuck in her.
That's right. Well, you know, Chief Hughes started using us about a year and a half ago. And I told him, I said, look, you're calling me at Fire Station 1 is the hottest station in town. I mean, they get more calls than any fire station in Lowndes County, period. He was calling me like once, maybe twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week to make repairs. And I finally talked him into letting me go and just do a service on all the stations. And he got it approved through the council and everything. And we went through there and we serviced every stinking door they had, and the call volume went from twice a week to once, maybe every few months. Just that simple stuff, just doing a little bit of maintenance. But, we consider the fire department high value. So when chief calls, I go. If I can't go, I'm going to send one of my guys. We're going to make sure that they can get the fire trucks out. Because this time of year, they're not going to keep that fire truck outside. It's a little too cold for too many busted pipes on a fire truck. That would not be a fun place to be.
A lot of people don't know, and they'll if they move downtown or come here, they'll hear the truck all the time. They don't realize our fire department responds to every call.
Oh, yeah.
So every trouble breathing, every small car wreck, the fire trucks come out there. And right now, like sometimes if it seems small, they'll just send a pickup truck out, then the truck. But somebody from the fire department's coming.
Right.
And so we hear those. I live downtown, so you hear the sirens all the time.
Right.
So you get used to it.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I was going with the Magnolia Diesel in West Point. He was doing the same thing. He was calling me once or twice a week. Cables popped off, doors crooked, stuck in the opening, and I sent my guys down there the last time. I said, he's trying to float these doors until he's ready to make this big move. I said, you go through there and you do everything we did at the fire department. And I haven't got a call yet. So that's good.
Is there any, you ever save old garage doors? I guess you can save random parts, but
well, what we like to do is we kind of create a pretty good size scrap pile. And if I find someone who's obviously living on a fixed income, and we can take some used parts and put on their door to make a repair to get them by, we'll do that. But for the most part, we mainly deal in new parts.
I wouldn't want to use spring.
No, I don't.
Have a garage, but it just seems
I
do
safe. do not use. I don't care if the spring was put up last week. If it's wound up, when it comes off, it's trash. Because you don't know the integrity of that stuff. Come on, man. It's spring steel. You don't know how long it's going to last. But when I put a new set on there, I know how long it's going to last. It's long. It just depends on how much you use it. Most springs have a 10,000 duty cycle life. So that means when the door goes up and then it goes back down, that's one duty cycle. It's going to do that 10,000 times before it starts getting weak. So, a good quality spring should last you anywhere from 3 to 5 years if you use it heavy. You know what I mean? So, we do a lot of this spring repairs, man. We've got a lot of old doors out there, a lot of older neighborhoods like the Sherwood Forest neighborhood. We do a lot of work out there because them houses are,
30, 35, 40 years old.
Yeah. So, you don't necessarily have to buy brand new doors the mind kind of goes way south when you see your door sitting in there like this.
Yeah.
That right there takes me about 15 minutes to fix. I can get the door back down, put the cables back on, get spring wound back up. We can do a lot of stuff to a door to float you to save some money. You know what I mean? A lot of people think, oh man, that thing right there is going to have to be replaced. Now sometimes it does, but it just depends on how bad the failure takes itself.
Yeah. What percentage of people actually use their garage? That's my key, because I see all the time. My mother-in-law's got a 2-car garage, can't fit 1 car in there. I know a lot of people have half junk, half car.
I see probably 80% of people that we run into use their garage. The people who don't use their garage and use it for storage, most of the time we don't get calls from them because it's being used as storage.
Yeah.
But I've seen people that people have home gyms in their garage, and they like when it's hot in there, they'll raise the door. You know, we see that. You know, probably about 10 or 15% of people don't use it. But I mean, it's really convenient to pull up in the garage, pull up in the driveway, and hit the button, and the door comes up, and you pull in. You know, close it down behind you.
Most of the new ones have the apps for the phone too, right?
Yes. All the openers come with it now for LiftMaster. Any other brand, I think it's a choice. I don't know, but we're a big advocate for LiftMaster and Chamberlain openers because they offer the best warranties. They offer the best product. If I call today for a customer, they'll have me a part in the mail in the matter of a day or so, and I can just go make it right to the customer. You know, we don't have to do it much though. That's the important part.
Yeah,
That's
not breaking is the.
Yeah.
Well, it goes on to the maintenance part of it too. I've never had a house with a garage, so I can't. I had one that I rented, but
You've sold a lot of them though.
I've sold a lot of them. Yeah, no. So it comes up, and then, like I said, whenever I'm in a house showing it, with first thing I do when I walk in that garage is press that button to see how loud it sounds or if it's crooked.
Well, the house we did right next to yours that you sold.
Yeah, the pink house.
Yeah, the pink house. I serviced those too. Cut that loud screeching noise out.
Yeah, it was pretty. But one of the two of them was pretty bad, and those were really tight garages. So like the people that bought the house, they used one and put storage in the other one. So
yeah, that's right.
I think of that all the time when I drive by. I'm like, I didn't even have to fix that door. You know, but downtown there's just no garages. So
not really.
You gotta have some money to build one. So
yeah, we've done a few in downtown. We just did 3. Do you know Mr. Tom Hatcher?
yeah,
Tom did a renovation for a customer, which we actually, for the same lady, put a door up for her. When I first started out, like my first year in business, she built a little garage, and she sold that house and bought another house in downtown and enclosed a carport, and we put 3 doors on it for her. So in downtown, that's what it's going to be is, you know, we added it or something like that.
yeah.
You know?
None of these houses were built. I only know like 2 houses, but they were new construction. You know, Stephen Jones, the mayor's built one with a garage.
Yeah.
I think William Starks, the attorney, built one next to the fire station. He's got one, but I can't think of too many new homes downtown.
Yeah. We just did the doors for Robert Smith's new house on 69.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor. Yeah. Pretty big house.
It is pretty big house. And he's one of the few that I've put 2 18-foot wide doors on the house, you know. I done it for one other customer. That's when you got, you know, a lot of stuff to store and make sure don't nobody run off with it, you know what I mean? You know, a couple cars and, you know. So.
No, he saved up his pennies and built that. Yeah, we thought about it, and then like now, again, my kids are starting to move out and stuff, so I'm like, I don't care that much, you know. So
yeah.
We'd have to build the whole thing, though. We've got nothing. Like, we don't have a
You sold your house, the one when I first met you. What was the house that you've been living in the same house?
I've been living downtown for 13 years. So.
Yeah. What was that other house you had? It was a white house, wasn't it?
That I lived in or owned?
That you lived in.
I lived in a white house around the corner, but it was a rental, and then I lived in a house in Sherwood Forest in the back on a hill.
It might have been the rental that I thought that was yours.
Yeah, I didn't have a garage, though.
You didn't have a garage.
So you're like me when I look at when people are talking about houses and stuff. If I don't know the address, they'll be like, yeah, I'm 2 miles down Black Creek. I'm like, just give me the address. Like, when I moved here, I worked at Papa John's. I worked for a while at the Packet, listened to the scanner, and I'm in real estate now. Everything in my life has been addresses.
Yeah.
So I'll meet somebody, and they're just like, they'll be insulted that I don't know. Like, and my wife will reach in. She's like, give me your address. And she's like, oh, and they're like 1820 Old Aberdeen Road. And I'm like, the 1,800 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, whatever. Your dog's birthday's next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like, everything's just filed under there.
Yeah.
And I wonder if
I'm the same way. Like, if I can place the job, I don't even have to have the address. A lot of times the address don't even do me no good. They'll just tell me like, yeah, you did this, that, and the other, and I live over here on, you know, on Cedar Drive. And I was like, oh, yeah, you know, we just did a motor and we replaced all the rollers. Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, you live next to, they've got a garage.
Yeah.
I don't have a garage. You're like, ugh. Get away from me,
Yeah.
commoners.
Yeah, I had a guy ask me one time. He said, "Don't it just irritate you to see somebody build a house without a garage?" And I'm like, "I don't really care, you know."
I don't see it much. I mean, there's some discussion now, design-wise, where they have them on the side or the back as opposed to the. I don't like the houses.
I do like Saunders' idea for doing the rear load.
Yeah. That's how everything will be in the back. Everything will be in the back, and they're walk-in.
And it's a good point. You know, who wants to walk through a really nice Creole-style neighborhood and see somebody's 52 boxes hanging out of the garage? You know.
Yeah, he did that over in Starkville in his developments too, where
Right.
there is an alley system in the back, when you walk in this will be at Parkview Development. You walk in the back, you're at ground level,
Right.
so there'll be no steps.
Yeah.
The fronts will all have steps.
I've been meaning to go over there and check out that Adelaide.
It's pretty nice, man. So,
Yeah.
like I said, we've as far as Parkview goes, probably ahead of expectations speed wise, and Adelaide's just. My wife and I were attracted to it immediately because it's kind of New Orleans, you know.
Right.
But I like the idea. I don't like trash cans out and that sort of stuff.
Right,
I just
yeah.
want to keep everything hidden in my whole life so that people
Yeah.
don't come snooping around.
It's definitely makes a difference, especially when you're trying to accomplish the aesthetics of the neighborhood. You know what I mean? It's gonna be nice.
Now it's gonna be fancy. It's gonna happen too. And like I said, plenty of garages. That'll be the meme of you going like this.
That's right.
We need some. Does that help you? New construction? Do the contractors and stuff, the people building a house, do they call you or do they try to do it themselves?
No, we have a lot of contractors in town. We do. There's probably maybe 3 that do new home builds that don't use us. Out of all the guys that build, you know, we've been. I can kind of tell you a little backstory on that. I was my father-in-law is Stephen Hall. That's Darren Hall's brother that paints houses. And I told him, I was like, man, I sure would like to get in with some of these contractors, you know, doing these doors, you know. And he went to Scott Swain, Rebecca's husband. And Scott called me up one day. I met him. And Scott has been using us ever since then, ever since 2019. And since then, he's gotten us with Mike Gibson at G&G Remodeling and Doug Cox at Custom Home Builders. And then I had them for a while, and we were doing a lot of work for them. And then Kevin Clark started using us. And so, you know, Kevin's not, you know, as heavy as a contractor as some of these guys are, but, you know, he loves to use us because he, you know, we capitalize on what he wants. So that's a big deal. And then I'd been trying to get with Chris Clardy ever since I started. And Chris is a very, very faithful type of contractor. He uses the same guys because, I mean, he's got a big machine, you know, it's all kind of, you know, the same stuff. So he called me up one day and we did one for him, and we've been doing them ever since, you know. And we got a couple of more, and we picked up some in Tupelo that came along with the business in Tupelo. So I just recently joined the Home Builders Association the night Saunders and them came.
Oh yeah.
And that's you know, I think it's going to be beneficial to kind of build rapport with some of these other contractors and stuff, because residential is our bread and butter. It's how we grew the company, and we, you know, I really enjoy that. You know, the commercial stuff comes and goes. We don't have like 40 commercial jobs. I mean, we got more like 40 residential jobs and maybe 2 or 3 commercial jobs. But we just sealed the deal on a big repair job for Ox Bodies in Fayette, Alabama, which is going to be pretty awesome because they got like 50 doors and they're all broke. So they've been having a hard time getting somebody reliable to come down there and do all that commercial work. So he's had a couple of companies he made hit the road. So he watched us work for a day and went to his boss and he said, I need him here like tomorrow. So,
well, when it affects your day-to-day business, man, the quality and just getting it over with, you know, like you could say some contractors or builders might they'll hang their own doors and not call a door special like regular doors,
Right.
or they may install their own appliances, but they need somebody else to put in the panel. Because at a certain point, you're just like you need it done, and you need it done right. And when you've got a specialty that you have that's literally so many moving parts.
Yeah.
Like you could hang everything and then it's crooked. You can hang everything and then the chain's not tight. You can
Yeah.
hang everything and put it wrong and the spring's not tension right. And all of a sudden, like, you've done all these things where it's like not that expensive to let a professional do it. You know?
Right.
Can't. I'm sure there are. You don't see too many install your own garage door DIY videos on YouTube. Are you really? Because I don't think it's worth the trouble. You know what I mean?
Well, it can be dangerous, especially if you climb that ladder nervous as a house cat. I mean, when you start messing with a spring.
I'm scared to death of the spring. I won't even like touch it with my finger.
Yeah. I mean, I've got scars. You know, I was actually winding up one day, and I got a little scar right there where the winding bar slipped out of my hand and hit me in the chest right there. But it's not. As long as you're careful, you can do it. But if you've never done it, I don't recommend it.
No, it doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. And like
No.
I said, I'll redo a plug at my house and watch a YouTube video or something. But you know, especially the spring. And
I always ask that customer that calls and says, "Hey, can you just sell me the springs?" I say, "Well, have you ever done them before?" And if they give me a solid answer, I won't steer them away from it. But if they're like, "Oh, well, I watched a YouTube video," I said, "Well, that YouTube video is finna get you hurt if you ain't careful."
Well, I like old video games and slot machines and stuff. And the old slot machines from 30s, 40s, and 50s have like 40 different cogs and springs in them. And there's two guys who do videos on them, and both of them reference, and they pulled up their hand. Both of them are missing like tips of their fingers
Oh, yeah.
from the little springs in those things.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what they're referencing. They're like, be really careful, and they'll make a joke, and they're missing part of their finger. And I'm like, oh my God. And that's from a little inch and a half little
Oh,
spring.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I've heard of people getting hurt real bad. I mean, and it's not. Most of the time, it's from people using stupid stuff to do it, like 1/4-inch extensions all stuck together, and they get about halfway up and it separates, and there go, you got a couple of missiles in your hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know. So.
Well, if they want to support you or get in business with you or call you for business, how do they find you?
Well, you can find us on Facebook. You can check us out on our new webpage at jdsgaragedoor.com until they change my landing page there.
What's it going to be to?
MississippiDoorLLC.com.
Okay.
We've got our whole product value, our product gallery there from every picture that you find on Facebook, on our website, anything that we share. We never robbed a single picture from the internet. Every door that you see on our content is ones we have done.
That's good.
So you can call us at 662-869-2277 or 251-4904.
And will JD's Garage Door on JND? Is it JND or JD?
JD's.
JD's on Facebook. Will it stay that way for a while? Or
It's already changed. I've
Okay.
already changed it to. I left some of the JD's content on there so that when people go look, they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, this is the same company. They just made some changes."
Well, I tell people with small businesses all the time and who are doing charity stuff, make me easy to find and easy to pay.
Oh yeah.
Because like I just saw somebody doing a fundraiser and I'm like, there was nothing on there on how to pay or how to donate if I wasn't paying. I'm
Right.
like, I called them like, y'all, my friends, like, put a little QR code on there. Call a college kid to make it for you. Because if you make it tough to pay, like I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
give you money.
what we love to do is I use QuickBooks, and then we use Elliot Dismukes. We have his system too. What we'll do is we'll get done with a job, and when we bill it out, we'll send an invoice to the customer. When they open up the email, there's a review and pay link, and boom, done. I mean, everybody.
Easiest way to do it.
Easiest way to do
Be a
it.
grown-up is what I say.
Yeah.
And y'all should really support him, despite him mentioning Elliot Dismuke, Scott Sween, and Donnie Barksdale. Which usually, that might be the list of who you call for bail. But,
Yeah, no doubt.
So, Donnie's a good dude. I'm glad you're under the same roof with him. And
Yeah.
hopefully,
I've been trying to talk him into coming and talking with you, but I can't seem to.
we've tried
pull
a
his
couple. We've tried
arm.
a couple times with the schedule, so I've got to see. I know he isn't quite as organized as far as the schedule. Like when I'm like
Yeah.
Tuesday at noon, he's like, I don't. He's like, I won't know until Monday.
When you're in the middle of trying to tow somebody's crap and deliver a piece of equipment at the same time, I figure that's kind of tough.
He's in the response business, is what he is, and that's he and I met a long time ago when I was at the packet looking at car wrecks and stuff. He's saved me in the middle of the night, and it's hard for anybody to let go of that. I grew up in the restaurant business, so like for years it took a long time for me to let go of the I'll be there right away. Because like somebody called me about a house, I'm like, let's go, and they're like, will you give me tomorrow? I'm like, no,
no.
And that's why I asked you about garage door emergencies and stuff. Yeah. Like I imagine some people get their cars stuck. But.
Yeah, we definitely take it pretty serious because I mean, if we don't do it, who's going to do it? There's nobody else in Columbus doing doors, and if you're stuck in your garage, just call us. Shoot me a text. I mean, come on. We'll take care of you. I mean, that's just all there is to it.
Thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Give us the new name again one more time because I'm going to forget it.
Mississippi Door LLC.
Easy enough. Pretty straightforward.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, man. Hey, guys. Thanks for listening to the podcast. My name is Colin Krieger, and my day job is real estate. If you're looking to buy or sell, I'd love to talk to you. Or if you just want to sit and talk real estate in a no-pressure situation, I'd love to help you. I work with RE/MAX Partners in Starkville, Columbus, and West Point, Mississippi. I can help you find an agent anywhere in Mississippi or anywhere in the country. Just reach out to our office at 662-327-7705 or find me anywhere when you type in 662-329-SOLD.